Have you ever wondered why the unsinkable Titanic sank on its maiden voyage? That's a question worth pondering, isn't it? It all started in the spring of 1912 when the Titanic embarked on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England, destined for the glittering shores of New York City, USA. This floating palace was no ordinary ship. She was the largest and most luxurious vessel of her time, a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition. On board, over 2,000 passengers were basking in the opulence, oblivious to the impending doom. In the dead of a cold, moonless night, the Titanic met her nemesis, an iceberg. This fatal collision with a silent sentinel of the North Atlantic was the beginning of the end for the Titanic, a tragedy that still echoes through time. Now that we know the basics, let's delve into some lesser-known facts about the Titanic. Did you know that the Titanic was warned about icebergs multiple times before the fatal collision? On that fateful day, the Titanic, the ship of dreams, received half a dozen iceberg warnings. Yes, you heard it right. 6 warnings. Messages sent from other vessels crisscrossing the same icy waters. Each one a pressing plea to slow down, to tread carefully. Yet these cautionary whispers were drowned out by the hum of the Titanic's monstrous engines and the echo of hubris in her steel-clad halls. You see, the Titanic was a marvel of human ingenuity, a symbol of mankind's mastery over nature. She was believed to be invincible, unsinkable. So why would she need to slow down? The ship was sailing at near full speed, her engines thrumming with raw power, her hull slicing through the frigid waters with a grace that belied her massive size. But the speed, it was a double-edged sword. The faster the Titanic went, the less time there was to react to any unforeseen obstacles. And that's where the second piece of the puzzle comes in, the lack of binoculars in the crow's nest. Imagine being in the crow's nest, your eyes straining against the darkness, scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. The binoculars, they could have been your eyes in the dark, amplifying your sight, extending your range. But the ship set sail without them. A small oversight perhaps, but one that would have dire consequences. If the lookouts had binoculars, they might have spotted the iceberg in time. They could have seen the looming shadow on the horizon, the icy spectre waiting in the dark. But without them, the iceberg remained unseen until it was too late. But the iceberg wasn't the only factor that led to the Titanic's sinking. The story is far more complex, with a web of circumstances, decisions and sheer bad luck that led to one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. But that is a tale for another time. What if I told you that the Titanic was doomed from the start due to design flaws? Yes, you heard it right. The unsinkable ship was not as foolproof as it was touted to be. One of the most glaring oversights was the insufficient number of lifeboats. The ship's designers prioritized aesthetics over safety, resulting in a shortage of lifeboats that could have saved numerous lives. Moreover, the watertight compartments in the Titanic were not entirely watertight. The walls of these compartments, known as bulkheads, did not extend high enough. When the ship struck the iceberg, water flooded from one compartment to another, causing the ship to sink. Adding to these fatal flaws were the substandard rivets used in the hull. The low-quality iron rivets were unable to withstand the impact of the iceberg, contributing to the catastrophic damage. The Titanic, hailed for its grandeur and luxury, was in fact a disaster waiting to unfold. So the unsinkable Titanic was a disaster waiting to happen. Can you imagine the impact of the Titanic's tragedy on maritime safety? The aftermath of this disaster gave birth to significant changes in maritime safety regulations, changes that have undoubtedly saved countless lives over the past century. In the wake of the Titanic's sinking, the necessity of lifeboats for every passenger became painfully clear, leading to regulations requiring a sufficient number of lifeboats on every ship. The icy culprit that sank the Titanic also prompted the establishment of an iceberg patrol to prevent similar tragedies. Yet, perhaps the most impactful change was the introduction of round-the-clock wireless communication on ships. This meant that distress signals could be sent and received at any hour, a change that was too late for the Titanic, but a lifesaver for many vessels since. The Titanic's legacy is a haunting reminder of the perils of human arrogance and the importance of safety regulations. And as we traverse the mighty seas, we do so with the lessons learnt from the Titanic etched in our minds and hearts.